Beneath the murky waters of the legendary Scottish loch lurks a mystery, and this week, perhaps, a new clue.
We think it's the first potential sighting of 2025. It's absolutely fantastic. It really looks like something is like bulging out from underneath the water.
A new picture has surfaced showing what appeared to be a large dark mass beneath the calm, still waters of the loch, according to the official Loch Ness Centre.
I just think it shows us that there's possibilities, that the search is not over, that there's still that we're still carrying out research and surface watch on the waters.
In fact, the centre is now looking for a new full-time monster hunter, an adventurous skipper, the ad says, for the deep scan vessel to keep the search alive. The job joins a long line of Nessie hunters over the last century. Since the early 1930s, there have been more than 1,000 recorded sightings of some kind of creature dwelling in Loch Ness.
So this black hump come out of the water.
It was like a torpedo going through the water.
Nowadays, there's a live stream of the loch, but researchers have deployed all tools imaginable: submarines, sonar, and last summer flew drones overhead. For decades, the leading theory was that Nessie was a plesiosaur, a dinosaur who had somehow survived. But scientists have tested the water for DNA.
Let's get down to it. Is there a plesiosaur in Loch Ness? No.
But they did find evidence of eel DNA.
It's plausible that there might be one or two that grow to extreme size.
Plausible, sure, but no photograph has ever proven that.
Definite fake.
Most snaps of Nessie, and there have been a lot, have been debunked. But the myth survives.
Well, he towed a nice bit of fiberglass behind his boat, but this is the famous one. What people think now is that it's actually this little thing. It's a submarine with a plasticine monster's head on top of it.
Experts and researchers will now analyze this week's newest sighting, looking for any evidence that Nessie lives on.
Molly, so many questions, but that job that you mentioned, the center's looking for a head Nessie hunter. What would that entail?
You're going to apply?
No, not at all.
It's a good gig. I'm looking at the ad right now, Craig, and I quote, "A successful candidate will spend their days searching for the legendary Nessie. You have to be an experienced skipper and a passionate storyteller. It pays about $230 a day, and you get to spend the day on the water. Not a bad gig."
Yeah, not a bad gig at all, if you believe it. Okay, Molly.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
I spent so much time in 4th grade thinking about this. I feel like I did a report on the Loch Ness Monster.
You've taught me more this morning about the Loch Ness Monster than I've ever...
Maybe it's like a generations thing. Do you remember being obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster?
Absolutely.
In like
yes.
4th, 5th grade?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I know. What about you, Al?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you believe?
There could be something there.
Yeah.
You know, almost like the legendary Polly the Pizza Rat. People have seen it, maybe, perhaps not. It's a legend.
Who's
that?
Is that a New York legend?
Yes, it's a New York legend.
Are you telling the truth?
Along with Alex the sewer alligator. There's so many,
The next guest may have taken one of the best ever pictures of the Loch Ness Monster. A creature about 2.5 metres long has been captured on camera from the shores in Scotland.
It's sparking renewed interest in the legend of Nessie and has many asking, could this be the most compelling evidence yet? This is the latest sighting of what's believed to be the Loch Ness Monster. Ripples in the water and what appears to be the body of a creature. Taken last year, it's only just emerged after the man who took it was going through old photos. So is it Nessie or not? It's been almost 90 years since this iconic image made headlines in 1934. Known as the surgeon's photo, it later turned out to be a hoax, but even that couldn't kill off the intrigue. Since then, there have been hundreds more reports. A US expedition claimed to have taken images of a Nessie-shaped creature underwater.
We feel so strongly with regard to the reality of what we have to warn the Scottish authorities and the British authorities to look carefully into the matter.
In 1996,
it was a whale-like object.
Then there was this extraordinary video from 3 years ago. And last year, Eddie joined the hunt too.
Anyone seen the Loch Ness Monster yet?
We've got something over there.
Where?
It's white. Seriously white.
Now a new photo edging us ever closer to cracking the mystery of a monster in the loch.
Photographer Steve Challice joins us now. Steve, I'll warn you right up front, my partner here on Sunrise, Sam, has seen the Loch Ness Monster while on a Contiki bus tour during her gap year. So we've got eyewitness accounts as well. Tell us about your eyewitness account. What exactly happened? What did you see?
Were you drunk too, Steve?
I wasn't going to dob you in.
Yeah. I was on holiday with my brother in Scotland, and we cast surf art, and I was taking photographs. To be truthful, there were so many Chinese tourists there that I was taking photographs of the opposite side of the loch, and there was this swirl in the water in front of me. And then suddenly I started taking some photographs, and suddenly this fish just surfaced. There's this photograph where you've got like a bow wave there. There's something under the water. The next thing, there was this fish. It's a fluke that I managed to get it, to be quite honest with you. And it just came out the water, and it was momentarily, and then it was gone again.
Okay, so what do you reckon it was, Steve? Are you a believer?
Well, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, no, I don't actually believe in the Loch Ness Monster. I put this in the first place because I thought it was some sort of fish. I wanted to know if anybody else had seen anything like that. But I have a theory about what it actually is, and I think it's a catfish, if I'm going to be truthful.
Jeez, that's a huge catfish.
Well, yeah, it is. It's a big one. But you see, the funny thing is, Loch Ness is open to the sea at the north end at Inverness, and they get seals in the loch. So I'm wondering whether it's something that's come in from the outside, which would explain an awful lot.
You didn't Photoshop it?
Yeah. Can you swear on whatever God you believe in that you didn't Photoshop this picture?
Yeah, sure. No, definitely. I'm not going to deny I use Photoshop, so many people do, but no, I don't think you could have Photoshopped this one, to be quite honest with you. Right. The wakes alone would be almost impossible to do if you look at it, because it's not like a wake would be from a boat or anything like that.
So you think it's a catfish that may have bred with a seal? Steve, appreciate...
No.
Appreciate...
He did not say that. We want to get this right, Kochi.
Does it look like what you remember?
No, it does not.
Oh, it's different.
Like what I saw. I couldn't tell you what I saw. It was a long time ago, but it didn't look like that. I swear to God, if you sit by the Loch Ness for long enough, you will see something. If you drink enough beer.
With a couple of brews.
Call me crazy, but I'm confused by these photographs this woman took of what some people are saying is the Loch Ness Monster. Before everybody says, oh, come on. What is that? That was in Loch Ness, Scotland. This was in the lake, and the woman who took this picture was not there to shoot the Loch Ness Monster, but she got this.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That is the Loch Ness Monster's daughter. I mean, the Loch Ness Monster has been seen for years and years and years. I believe that the Loch Ness Monster found a way to make a baby, and the Loch Ness Monster is still there.
There's a line of credibility to this because of the photo. She came out with this photo years after it was taken because she was afraid of ridicule. Yeah. These weren't photos where she was like a Nessie hunter looking for Nessie. She was taking photos of her family. That gives it an air of credibility that it's hard to refute.
Forget the photos, all right? Let's just talk biology. All right, so let's say in 600, somebody spotted Nessie, okay? Now, clearly, whatever we're spotting in this current century is the offspring of Nessie, which would then imply that back in the 600s, there would have been more than one, and then they would have procreated, and those offspring would have procreated, and without any major predators for Nessie in that lake, there would be a bunch of Nessies all over the place. And so when the marine biologists went in there to catalog all the fish that live there, they would have identified Nessie and the tribe, along with the salmon, the trout, and the eel.
Reserve your tendencies to shoot this down, okay? But I do study a lot of cryptids, okay? And my thing is, I've talked to so many people who've come face to face, credible people, like 10 foot away, of some large eel-like dragon, creature under the water, that I feel the phenomena is real. Okay, now how does it live there in a landlocked lake? I agree with you. There's gotta be some openness. The idea, hold on, this might be interdimensional. It might be there one day and it's not the next, okay? Because there's some sort of I don't know, wormhole that it travels through. See, I knew you were going to say that.
No, absolutely not.
The thing is that I don't know that what I'm looking at is Nessie, but ecologists have looked at this picture and they can't figure out what this matches of the aquatic life in the loch. So let's take maybe a more logical approach. Is it possible it's something that's known, let's say an eel, that could have mutated and looks maybe less like an eel?
It could be just a regular eel because they actually don't know how they reproduce.
Do the eels look like that?
And let's also just recognize that in terms of perspective, this is really zoomed in. When you look at it from without any cropping, it is not as magnificent as that, and it really could be anything.
Well, there is a whale theory to this, right?
Right, the whale penis. The excited whale.
Yeah. A whale in freshwater. I love a whale theory in freshwater, because isn't Loch Ness freshwater?
Yes.
So it can't be a whale penis.
But there's so much that we don't know about what's happening in the water. We haven't gone all the way to the ocean floor. We haven't seen everything that is hiding under every single nook and cranny in water. It's mysterious.
I don't think we know what most of ocean life looks like.
Exactly.
When you go way down in the ocean. How many new species do they find every year?
100 new species for the last 10 years.
But this is freshwater.
But the point is that we think we know everything, but we keep discovering new things.